Hello everyone and good evening. I'm Don Arleth and you're watching Ukraine Brief on TVP World. Today marks the 1,303rd day since Russia launched its full-scale invasion of Ukraine. We begin Ukraine Brief with another wave of Russian attacks across the country. Russia continues to launch Shahed-type attack drones deep into Ukrainian territory, alongside artillery strikes, drone attacks, and bombardments of towns along the front line. Over the past 24 hours, these attacks have killed at least 9 civilians and wounded more than 30 others. Russian forces launched 75 Shahed-type drones, with Ukraine reportedly intercepting 48 of them. Around 10 a.m. local time today, Russian forces dropped an FAB-250 guided aerial bomb on a residential area in the city of Kostiantynivka, killing at least 5 people, 2 women and 3 men, aged between 62 and 74. 4 apartment buildings were damaged. In other attacks over the past 24 hours, 2 civilians were killed in Kostiantynivka and dozens more wounded, including a child. Russian forces dropped 12 more bombs on the city, damaging more than 50 residential buildings. In other attacks in the Zaporizhzhia and Kherson regions, 15 people were wounded, including a child and 5 police officers, in the aftermath of Russian shelling. In the Kharkiv region, an elderly man was killed following a Russian MLRS attack. In the Chernihiv region north of Kyiv, a Russian drone attack killed a 45-year-old emergency worker and wounded 2 others. This is not the first time Russian forces have used a double-tap attack targeting rescue workers. In the Poltava region, a Russian drone strike on the evening of September 17th hit a gas station, sparking a fire and wounding 4 civilians. In a separate attack, Russian forces targeted railway infrastructure, wounding 5 people and temporarily cutting power to several stations. In the Kyiv region, Russian attacks on the Bucha and Dobropillia communities caused a large fire. Nearby private houses and cars were also damaged. No casualties were reported. In the last 24 hours, in 2 separate attacks, Ukrainian forces reportedly struck not 1, but 2 key oil refineries, one of them in Russia's Volgograd region, and the other a Gazprom oil processing and petrochemical complex in the Bashkortostan region. According to a local official, Ukrainian UAVs hit the Gazprom Neftekhim Salavat petrochemical plant in Russia's Bashkortostan Republic, some 1,400 kilometers from Ukraine. This is one of the largest oil refining and petrochemical installations in the country. While the Russian side always claims that Kyiv's drones are being successfully intercepted, video footage on social media tells a different story. In a separate attack, according to a statement from Ukraine's Special Operations Forces, a refinery in Russia's Volgograd region was struck as well. This facility supplies fuel and lubricants to the Russian armed forces and is the largest producer of fuel and lubricants in the southern part of the country. The Ukrainian military is carrying out a counteroffensive on the Eastern Front, with Kyiv reclaiming 7 villages in the Donetsk region, President Volodymyr Zelensky said Thursday following his visit to the front line. Zelensky also noted that Ukrainian forces have already liberated over 160 square kilometers of land. Heavy fighting continues around Dobropillia, where the Russians made rapid advances in August, and near the key logistics hub of Pokrovsk.
We are conducting one of our counteroffensive operations. The troops are doing good. They're hard at work in the Donetsk region near Pokrovsk and Dobropillia. In fact, our forces are depriving the occupier of the opportunity to carry out a full-fledged offensive, which they had been planning for a long time and counting on.
On Thursday, President Zelensky signed a law creating the Military Ombudsman's Office to protect the rights of military personnel, reservists, volunteers, and law enforcement involved in the war with Russia. Appointed every 5 years, the Ombudsman can handle complaints, conduct inspections, and make recommendations. Olha Rezhetilova, a former journalist and human rights activist, has been named as the first military ombudsman. Ukraine and Poland have signed a strategic memorandum of cooperation on unmanned aerial systems. Announced on Thursday in Kyiv by the Ukrainian and Polish defense ministers, the agreement establishes a joint working group to exchange battlefield experience, develop counter-drone measures, and advance innovative drone technologies.
Today, we agreed on specific software products that will grant our Polish colleagues access to, so that they can see in advance all Russian attacks, including those potentially aimed at our neighbors and friends. We'll expand this cooperation, sharing both our software and the information at our disposal, as well as coordinating our activities and efforts at the military and technical levels.
And we end our news with Ukraine's military intelligence recently revealing detailed insights into the Russian Geran-3 UAV with a turbojet engine, an analog of the Iranian Shahed-type drone. The drone uses a Chinese turbofan Telefly JT-80 engine, enabling speeds of 300 to 370 kilometers per hour and an operational range of up to 1,000 kilometers. It also packs a jamming-proof satellite navigation system. Out of 45 identified foreign parts, half are from the U.S., 8 from China, 7 from Switzerland, and others from Germany, the U.K., and Japan. The list comes from War and Sanctions website of the Ukrainian government, which now catalogs over 5,000 foreign components found in over 100 samples of Russian arms. And that's all from Ukraine for now. Stay with us on TVP World and tvpworld.com for more.